I think I must have a big amygdala, that teeny part of the brain, the master of the fight or flight response. It can elicit a full-blown, hands up in the air, gravity-defying leap away from perceived danger. And as someone who meditates daily and strives for more zen, I admit I startle easily. What a stark contrast between a relatively calm personality and moments of jumping out of my skin. And you know what? It's okay. I'm done fighting it, explaining it away, or dealing with people's comments like it's a fault of mine. I won't get eaten by a tiger anytime soon, there's that. My point is, I now embrace this part of who I am. What is something you've resisted, maybe for years, that's hardwired in your biology? You can embrace who you are, too. When you stop fighting nature and learn to roll with what you can't change, you win. How do you do this? Find the full transcript and more resources for physician moms at inspiredmommds.com/36. You're listening to Inspired Mom MDs with host Cindy Van Prague, helping physician moms take back control and prioritize what matters most so they thrive in private practice and at home. Hi, and thank you for joining me today. I am living the experience as my fingers tap this keyboard. There is a rumble all around, even through my headphones, and the walls are shivering. We're getting a new roof right at this moment as I sit in my home office with my Jumpy guard dog at my feet. Rightly so, she woke up the house at the crack of dawn when an army of roofers surrounded our house prepping for the day. Planters were moved, a huge tarp covered our pool, and a large dumpster was deposited in our driveway. With people outside almost every window, my pup was having a field day barking. She has that glorious, vicious guard dog type bark, and I'm grateful for it any other day, but not today. The real issue is when she gets quiet. I relax a bit, pick up my hot coffee, and bam! A loud howl comes out of this little animal and makes me jump out of my skin. Just that moment, it happened again. So it got me thinking about a realization that I had recently. I must have a larger than normal amygdala. I read it in an article recently. It was an aha moment for sure. Why have I been fighting this ingrained biology? It's been like this my whole life, and I finally realized I can just accept what is. My husband will come around the corner and I will jump sky high, and he'll say, "I was just walking to the kitchen in my own house." And I'll reply, "Yeah, but do you have to do it in secret ninja mode?" This never ever happens to him or my daughter, but I see the exact same thing in my son. He inherited it from me, lucky kid. Why have I always apologized for being jumpy? What sense does that make? I was resisting who I am, the part of me that I can't change. You can't change what's innately you, right? So how do I embrace who I am? How does anyone? For me, it was education. I learned two key facts that made me change my mind a bit. First, and I apologize, there is banging going on while as I record this because the roofers came back from lunch break. So the first, it's actually a real physical, measurable thing in the brain that's correlated with the behavior. On this point of jumpiness, that's great, right? But there are 1,000,001 other traits that people contend with that may not have a discernible scientific source, or at least not yet. And I do also recognize the complex interplay between biology and environment, or nature versus nurture. And boy, does this spark some feisty arguments in the science world. I also consider a bit of the chicken versus the egg conundrum, which came first. There is also scientific proof of brain changes because of various conditions like depression. So is it the structure that's first, or is it change that followed behavior? Is my brain the cause of a high startle reflex, or does something completely unknown to me cause it? I just don't know, but what I do know is that people are born with baseline personality traits. The origin of things not completely explained may include other things too, besides this startle reflex. For example, a sense of humor. Like some people that have a non-existent sense of humor, others are the life of the party. Or artistry and creativity, like which comes so natural for some. Or empathy. I would love to know where the biological basis is for empathy. As an empath myself, I have found this is another trait that I've sometimes become embarrassed by or made excuses for. I believe as physicians and scientists, we only see and understand the tip of the proverbial iceberg. In due time, more will be revealed, but not soon enough to help us earthlings now, today. This leads me to my second fact. It can be normal. And more importantly, in general, it's not harming anyone. And the it I'm talking about is the startle reflex. A short internet search unveils a large swath of people that behave just like me and my son. It's not my fault or theirs or his. I'm definitely not saying that just because a group of people behave in a certain way, that makes it normal or acceptable. Just that I know I'm not alone. There's comfort in that fact. Enough comfort for me to finally embrace it. It's who I am. No need to apologize. Just own it. No excuses. I do want to add that a high startle reflex can also be abnormal, right? Or rather, a normal protective response to an abnormal situation. For example, people with a history of anxiety disorders, trauma, or PTSD can certainly experience a higher startle reflex. And if you happen to experience some of what I'm describing and it really concerns you, or it's affecting your life, or it's something new, I definitely advise you to reach out to your doctor or your therapist and check it out. Lay it out for them. See if they can help you, if it really is a problem. But today's discussion is more for folks who have more idiopathic jumpiness, or one that just doesn't really have a discernible cause. Certainly, days with increased tension and stress can also lead to more jumpiness. So today's message is simple. When you embrace who you really are, you will save yourself the grief and energy of resistance. When you stop explaining away traits or behavior quirks, you free yourself. Replace the moments of nagging irritation or worry in your brain with self-compassion and acceptance. Now, I kind of laugh when it happens once my heart rate calms down a little. And of course, I try to mitigate factors to prevent what I know will be a rough day, like today. I have my dog under my desk at my feet. It seems like she fears all this noise too. And it will be a long day. In fact, today is day 2 of this hammering. But with a deep breath and my hand on her head and a hot cup of coffee or tea, I will get through this day. And you will too. So embrace your little habits or moments that make you unique, but also realize you're not alone. Someone somewhere has probably studied what you're struggling with. Maybe check it out and see. See if you find some new facts. There may be a scientific fact behind it, and a slew of people with the same one trait. And to circle back to my meditation and pursuit of Zen, yes, this does help. Any meditative activity, whether active meditation like yoga or running, or more still like meditation, reduces overall stress and anxiety that comes with being human. And reducing stress will decrease the startle reflex a bit. This much I have control over. The rest I accept, I don't. Don't forget to join me next week for another dose of support and inspiration. And until then, take care of yourselves and take care of those who matter most. It's time to take control and thrive. Thank you for tuning in to Inspired Mom MDs. Please share with other physician moms and leave a review if you found value from this podcast.